I have nothing left.
Catastrophic destruction.
I have never in my life.
2 dead and a half dozen others hurt.
This is our house.
Neighborhoods leveled.
They're not coming out. They don't want to see it.
Families pulling what they can from the rubble.
My dog made it!
Now rising water, another concern.
It got right in the middle of water and stopped.
Fox 17 News starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. Fox 17 News at 9.
Good evening, everyone. Catastrophic damage as a deadly EF3 tornado kills 2 people, injures 7, and destroys 25 homes as strong storms pummel the mid-state. I'm Stacey Case live in Lincoln County tonight, where, as you can see, this tornado threw this school bus around like a toy. We have live team coverage tonight. Fox 17's Eric Alvarez tracking flood damage for us. Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan tracking the current storms as we speak. And my colleague Scott Couch back in the studio wrapping up our flood damage and tornado damage today. Let me start tonight, though, with my colleague Fox 17's John Dunn. John, this was a huge storm. You've been on the ground all day. It was a 2-mile wide tornado.
I know, and it ran on the ground for about 15 miles, Stacey. It was actually powerful enough to toss this school bus about 75 yards here in front of South Lincoln Elementary School. A very powerful storm with winds of at least 136 miles an hour. The people who survived it say they are so lucky to be alive. When a tornado that is this strong and powerful blows through, the people who live to tell its story
the most scariest thing I believe I've ever been through in my entire life.
Can't help but feel grateful amidst the destruction. Dane Grissom points out the small space under his porch where he hid and prayed as the tornado passed over.
Yeah, I just asked the good Lord not to take my house and let me live one more day, and I'm standing here.
Tuesday's sunshine revealed just how awful this storm was. At least 25 homes are destroyed. So many more are damaged.
Probably 5 miles back. My stuff is back there.
Dana Davis's mobile home blew off its foundation. She lost nearly everything, yet the gratitude remains.
If me and my 6-year-old had stayed here, we wouldn't be here today.
Sadly, the tornado claimed 2 lives. John and Karen Prince were inside their home when it was hit. Their son, who found their bodies, told us today they were beautiful people.
From there, it appears that this thing was approximately 2 miles wide.
Lincoln County Sheriff says the tornado cut a diagonal path across the entire county. He says everything along that line is damaged.
This tornado spun up and just appeared out of nowhere when you get right down to it.
With search and rescue efforts now concluded, the focus now turns toward cleanup. There is so much to do, and reality is setting in. For many, life now starts over.
We're all without anything. We've lost everything. Our homes, everything. Everything's gone.
Tomorrow we expect numerous volunteers will be on the ground here in the Lincoln County area. Some may come by this school where all the windows and doors have been blown out, as you can see. Everyone will have to check in at the Park City Baptist Church. They want to make sure that people who are back here belong back here. They don't want anybody stealing anything out of the homes that were destroyed. And Stacey, I can tell you tonight that those people we spoke with, they were lucky because this storm was extremely powerful.
Hard to believe that this was a storm shelter just 30 minutes before this tornado hit. Well, I got the chance today to meet a true survivor, not just any survivor. We have lots of survivors from this storm, but this individual not only made it through this tornado, before that, he survived cancer.
This is the living room. Or was the living room.
Rebecca Kuntz doesn't really care about all this stuff. She's just glad her 2 boys made it out alive.
I'm very thankful. The stuff can be replaced. My boys can't be replaced.
Kuntz was an hour away in Lawrenceburg when the tornado came through, not knowing if her boys were okay.
I was scared. I prayed, that's all I did.
But just before the 2-mile-wide storm swept most of this house away, Stagg, who's already survived cancer, asked if he could just go to bed. He would have been in that bed right there.
Yes, right up underneath the ceiling.
This is the storm shelter they say saved their lives. They all got in here, and as they tried to hold this door closed, the tornado was pulling it open. That's when they say this dumpster came and pushed this door closed, saving them.
And it took 3 people in the dumpster to hold the door shut.
You're going to have to open that door up.
Neighbor and friend Bradley Tucker lives just a few houses away.
This man didn't have insurance, So we're going to do whatever we can for this guy.
Well, the sheriff tells me tonight they think that they have rescued everyone. They don't have any reports of missing people at this point, but the National Guard is here and is in place and is conducting searches as we speak. Well, this will shift into more of a cleanup mode tomorrow, as John Dunn mentioned to you. But now, for the latest on what's ahead, let's go to my colleague Scott Couch in the studio. Scott.
Thank you, Stacy. Right now, the cleanup is already on in some other parts of the mid-state. Storm victims are doing what they can to clean up as they keep an eye on the sky, hoping to dodge any more severe weather. Fox 17 Skywatch Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan here now to tell us what to expect. And it seems like we dodged a bit of a bullet because it looked for a while this afternoon like we might get some more of this.
Yeah, and that was the case. We were under a slight risk for severe weather throughout the mid-state. But the good news is the thunderstorms that we had yesterday that kind of help keep things a little bit less severe, or just seeing those showers and thunderstorms around, so it kind of helps stabilize things for the afternoon. So that is good news. And in fact, we did have a tornado watch earlier for Lincoln, Moore, and Franklin, the same counties that have been hit hard yesterday. That has now since expired. It was allowed to cancel. So that is good news now. We are under no watches, no warnings, just some good old-fashioned thunderstorms rolling through. And this has been the case here for the past couple of days. Now, good news that we're not going to be tracking severe thunderstorms, but we are still tracking rain, and rain, too much rain. We are looking at flooding as a big concern now, and showers will continue to fall through the evening hours here before we clear things out as we head through the overnight. So right now, showers producing moderate batches of rain at times and rumbles of thunder along with some lightning. Earlier, we did have a few strong thunderstorms producing very gusty winds and some small hail. I saw many reports of pea-sized to nickel-sized hail throughout the afternoon. But we'll zoom out and you can see that this slow-moving storm system continues to push east ever so slowly. Overnight, we will see things begin to clear out of here, but that cold front, it is pushing through. Notice Nashville here is already at 58. Compare that to Atlanta at 69 degrees. So warmer weather to our east now and in East Tennessee. So the cooler weather that is moving in now will help stabilize us even more. So we are not looking at severe thunderstorms as we head through the overnight hours here. Just some thunderstorms, especially east of I-65. The rain will clear out overnight. We look for a quiet, cooler Wednesday morning and a slight chance of a light shower as we go through the day tomorrow. But temperatures will be much cooler than what we've experienced. We were in the 80s today. We're down to about 70 degrees as we head into tomorrow afternoon. But very soggy ground, and that'll continue to be the problem for us over the next couple of days with flooding across Middle Tennessee. We'll talk more about that, and of course, we'll have a look at the rest of the week's forecast coming up in just a little bit. Scott.
Thanks, Katie. Actually, you set the table. The deadly storms also brought a lot of rain, which can prove to be dangerous in many different ways. Fox 17's Eric Alvarez now to continue our team coverage near the Davidson-Cheatham County line, where flooding's a big concern.
Well, that's right, Scott. Now, the flashing lights you see behind me belong to a T-Dot truck. That truck is here to restrict traffic on Highway 100 to just one lane. Now, they're doing that to keep people away from this. Now, as you can see, just a massive chunk of concrete missing from the right side, right lane shoulder. Believe it or not, the T-Dot worker here tells me the rain washed away the earth under the asphalt, causing this large chunk of asphalt to break off. Now, this is what the damage looks like in the light of day. The southbound shoulder dangling over a steep hill. A T-Dot crew blocked off a section of road yesterday, limiting traffic to just one lane. Now, we're told there weren't any wrecks here today, but neighbors say this isn't the first time or the only place that this has happened.
You don't see it very often, but it's kind of concerning, especially out where I live. After the May flood, it just washed the asphalt off the ground.
Now, T-Dot crews say they did come out and fix this stretch of road last year. Now, let's go ahead and bring you back out here live. If you're going to follow me, you're going to see a gas station over here. That is the Anderson's Market right across the street. The owner tells me that he has not seen any crashes, but he has seen a lot of backed up traffic, and a lot of his customers are saying they're very, just kind of upset that this traffic is being backed up for about a half mile here during the busiest hours, and obviously they all hope that this gets taken care of as soon as possible. Reporting live in Davidson County, Eric Alvarez, Fox 17 News.
Thanks, Eric. Now, right now, the Mid-State is on a long list of places that have been battered by strong storms and tornadoes. In fact, in all, close to 36 people have been killed and hundreds more are bouncing back from injuries. Alabama saw damage in several areas. Fox 17's Stacey Casey's near that damage, near the Tennessee-Alabama border, and she joins us now with more.
Well, Scott, we're back live here in Lincoln County. We're just a few miles north of the Alabama border. That state has 19 counties that are right now dealing with damage to homes and buildings. The tornado killed 3 people there, including a swimmer from the University of Alabama. Crews in Tuscaloosa say John Servati and his girlfriend were waiting out the storm in the basement when a retaining wall fell on him. In Mississippi right now, people are pulling what they can from leveled homes there. Strong storms and tornadoes ripped through the state, causing plenty of devastation, especially in Tupelo. Tonight, National Guard troops are helping with recovery, just as they are here in Tennessee. Well, as you look at this school right here, it's really hard to believe that this was used as a shelter just about 30 minutes before the tornado hit it. Coming up, what's next for students who go here, who have to finish out school somewhere? We are live back here in Lincoln County, the hardest hit area from last night's tornado, an EF3 tornado, the National Weather Service has now determined. You're looking here at large pieces of the roof of this school. I just talked to some crews who are planning to work on it. They say they'll probably have to tear most of it down and start over. Tonight, though, a unique story of survival from a family who lost their home, but not their family pet. Chris and Terry Shores are like several people who lost everything here in Lincoln County. They no longer have a place to stay after the deadly EF3 tornado.
This is part of our trailer.
Well, the two walked us through what was left of their home last night, pointing out what they recognized, like their front door and some of their clothes blown away. But what was really unexpected was this. Take a listen.
My dog made it! My dog! Oh, you're still here, baby, and they took the house? You look like a manged up mess, but you're all right.
Well, that is Pooh, their dog, who was tied up on the porch when the storm came through. The storm came so fast, they didn't have a time to get Pooh inside. Since the porch is gone, naturally, they thought Pooh would be too. And then, when we were here covering this last night, Pooh showed back up, covered in mud and debris. But we want to let you know that Pooh is doing just fine. Well, thousands of students out of school again tomorrow here in Lincoln County. All of Lincoln County schools are closed, including this one, South Lincoln Elementary, which was destroyed in last night's tornado. Not only because this school was destroyed, but also because we don't have any electricity in this area, and also because many of the roads that lead to neighboring schools are impassable at this point. We want to go back now to Katie Morgan, our chief meteorologist, who's in the studio. Katie, I know we were live on the air last night when all of this was taking place, and you said this is a weather emergency, and it truly was.
That's right, Stacey. The National Weather Service out of Huntsville declared it a tornado emergency, and meteorologist Brock Shapiro and I were both tracking this very early on, and rarely, Brock, do we hear the words tornado emergency.
When you think tornado emergency, we go back to what happened last year with Moore and the El Reno tornado, because that's when you have your confirmations. It's when you know it's causing damage and you have that history of it. So when they put that out there, we knew that this was one that we had to watch closely as it was in Alabama, and then when it crossed the line, we just letting everyone know.